And what I'm about to show you now is literally going to be one of the most powerful concepts you're ever going to learn. Who experiences stress here? Who's ever done anything stupid under the influence of stress? So let's look at stress. When you experience stress, your body releases a number of hormones, and one of them is cortisol. Within 7 minutes of your body releasing cortisol, you lose 50% of your IQ. Cortisol is also carcinogenic, okay? Increased exposure to cortisol increases the probability of you developing cancer, okay? It destroys your hormone profile, destroys estrogen, destroys testosterone. Symptoms of that in men and women is weight gain, okay? It destroys the biological balance in your gut, and the list goes on. It's bad news. Good for short bursts if required, but bad news if you live in that state. So when we live in a state of stress, we're actually inhibiting our body's ability to rebuild and regenerate itself, remove toxins, rehydrate, repair, and as a result, the organs go from being in a state of ease, and then they convert to being in a state of what? Dis-ease. That's why stress is the number one killer on the planet. Responsible for, they now say, 80% of most diseases are caused as a result of stress. So when it comes to conditioning ourselves to stress, what do you think is step one? In order to condition yourself, you have to expose yourself to whatever you're trying to condition yourself to. It's called exposure therapy. What? That sounds nuts. It's not nuts. It's by design. You don't not have stress by avoiding it. In most cases, by avoiding stress, you produce more of it. And so what we do is we don't avoid stress, we actually seek it out, but we do it in a conscious and healthy way. So we expose ourselves to the stress, and then we become aware of when we are stressed. Most people don't know when they're stressed. They live in such a constant state of stress that they actually don't know that they are what they feel like when they're not stressed. See, most people are so stressed that when they feel relaxed, they go, something's wrong. I need to do something. I'm not used to not doing anything. And do you know why people do that? Because cortisol is just as addictive as a drug. It's addictive. Stress is addictive. And so that's why some people will seek it out, but not in a healthy way. So you've got to be aware of when you actually are in stress. Once you're aware of when you're in stress, where you breathe. And the breathing technique is 6, 6, 6. The number of the breath. Just a little reframe there. You breathe in for 6, hold for 6, out for 6. You see, what we've got to understand, the reason that the breath is so important is because through breath, we reset the autonomic nervous system. Not only does breath have the ability to reset the autonomic nervous system, it also has the ability to raise our immune response. So by learning how to breathe, not only are we able to reset our autonomic nervous system and de-stress quickly, it also boosts our white blood cell count and our ability to fight bacteria and viruses and disease. And we do that through our breath. We've reset the autonomic nervous system, but the stimulus is still there. And it's not actually the stimulus that's the problem. What's the problem? It's our perspective on the stimulus. We see that and we perceive it to be stressful. And so by perceiving it to be stressful, we then have a stress response because we deem that stressful. So what we have to do is we now have to move from the biology, the biochemistry, into the psychology, which is now we actually consciously allocate a new meaning by asking the question, what is the benefit of this? How is this serving me? What skills, knowledge, experience am I gaining as a result of this that I would not get if I didn't have it? Now, by the way, this isn't just this is really good, no. This is, you have to genuinely seek out the benefit, the knowledge, the skills that you're getting so that you can get to an actual genuine state of, wow, I'm so grateful for this experience. Now, we're trying to reallocate a new meaning to the stimulus. Why are we trying to do that? Like, what do you think is the goal here? The goal is actually to put your psychology into a state of gratitude. Now, let me tell you why. Based on the biological profile of someone who's in a state of gratitude, is they have elevated levels of DHEA. DHEA, it's a neuroprotectant, increases the immune system, helps the metabolism speed up, puts on lean muscle mass, helps you burn calories, okay, makes your bones stronger. And when DHEA elevates, cortisol naturally starts to decrease. And so the reason that we're actually trying to attain a state of gratitude isn't just because we're trying to tweak our psychology. We're tweaking our psychology because we understand that there's a biological response. Because we could get ourselves into breathe, and we can breathe nice and deeply. We reset the autonomic nervous system, but if the same meaning is still there, guess what's going to happen? We're going to re-trigger another 3 minutes later. Does that make sense? Now, I want you to understand, most things that are stressful are triggered as a result of things that either upset you or that you're afraid of. You're only born with two fears. You were born with the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. That's it. They're the two primal fears. Every other fear that you've got in your life right now, you learned or adopted through observation. Your environment told you what to be afraid of, and your environment lied to you. By the way, some fear is very practical, but a lot of fear actually isn't very practical at all. It's actually impractical because it prevents us from doing the things that we want. My goal here with what I'm trying to teach is I'm trying to make you mentally resilient. These are the foundations of grit. Because I want you to understand, as your business grows, as your life evolves and develops, your life isn't going to get easier. It actually gets a lot harder. It gets a lot more complicated. Okay, you get a lot more problems. And most people go, but don't I get less problems the more successful I become? No, you just get bigger ones. Bigger problems. Trust me, when you start running $100 billion, $500 million, billion-dollar companies, these dudes have hectic lives. But they have, over a period of time, they've conditioned themselves to a point where they're almost unflappable in most situations. Does this make sense? And that's my goal for you. My goal for you is to be able to put yourself in any situation, being able to see more of everything, be conscious of more information so that you can make better quality decisions in the moments that matter. And then you become unstoppable.